Saying schedules. Oh, there we are.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the YouTube Lead Gen Show, hosted by Christina Smallhorn and myself, Malcolm Lawson. Christina and I have generated millions of views on YouTube, hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and most importantly, hundreds of thousands of dollars in commissions from leads that we generated from our real estate YouTube channels. On this show, we mastermind about how to use YouTube in our real estate businesses for lead generation. Christina, how the heck are you today?
I'm doing really, really good. Thank you for asking. And how are you, Mr. Malcolm Lawson?
I am doing pretty good myself as well. We took a little hiatus from this, from this show, but I'm excited to be getting back into the groove of things and masterminding with you about YouTube.
Good.
I feel like we've had a couple pretty big milestones since our last show, one of which is that you got featured in Daryl Eves' new book, which is very exciting.
You mean this book right here, the one that I happen to have?
Right there.
Yes, I did. I got it. I got in here. There's a few pages. It's about my story of how I was able to turn my channel into a real life business. And he gives all the good secrets in here. You know, I heard one person say, "Oh, you know, there's a lot of fluff in there," and I said, "Then you didn't read it." You didn't read it because
I agree with that. Joe Leaves, he doesn't give a lot of fluff. He gives just a lot of like the meat and potatoes, a lot of the action steps, and pretty much everything that he does. I'm a big fan of him. He's got a real analytical brain and really just dissects YouTube very well about what works and what doesn't work on there.
He does a lot of storytelling in this in order to get you to understand what he's talking about, and then shows examples. And I think maybe they just got it lost in the storytelling. Maybe I don't know. Some people,
I love it. So
speed read. I think they speed read and then they miss some good stuff.
So he's using you as an example of what real estate agents should do to grow on YouTube.
Yeah, several other people as well. And I'm not the only one in there. There's many other channels in there. I was a small little thing, but whatever. This is the first time my name's ever been in print that I know of.
Yeah. And you know, if the book's not like a bestseller yet, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a bestseller, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool credential. I was featured in a, bestseller, Amazon bestseller, whatever it is, by Daryl Eves. It's very cool. And you're often on his live streams as well. It's like every live stream that he does, he brings you on there.
Well, I don't know about everyone, but it's a good example, like, to understand, like, you can do it too. Like, my channel was literally, it was, puttering along like many of our real estate channels do. They just putter along. And it was just a few little tweaks. He always says small tweaks make big peaks. So I did what he told me to do, and I still don't understand everything. I mean, I'm doing well. And if I could really grasp every aspect of it, I have to keep doing it over and over and over again to get it, because my brain does not work like in the numbers kind of aspect. It really never has. I'm trying really hard. Making the video is easy and fun for me, and editing is easy and fun for me, but it's like that back end stuff and understanding your analytics and knowing when to release. I understand it, but I want to understand it more, because there's so much more to it than meets the eye. There's so many different little tabs within the analytics that you can just keep diving deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And I wish I could wrap my brain around that.
Yeah, I think you're right that, I think that's pretty common. I think a lot of people, they have that creative side, or people have an analytical side, and you really need to kind of have both of those things to really do well on YouTube. You need to be able to dive deep into your analytics and kind of nerd out on that stuff a little bit. You don't need to, but it definitely would be helpful.
I would wish I understood it more. Once I get something like that, I'm always like, oh, I'm so smart, But the more I do know, the easier it does become. I do have a better system of, uploading videos than I had in the previously. And so I definitely have his program to thank for it. And it's all in that book. I mean, there isn't, everything that I do every single week is right there in that book.
Oh, so that's great.
You can have a successful channel too.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of systems in place for your YouTube channel? Like what's your schedule look like? Are you doing 2 videos a week or 1 video and 1 live stream?
Yeah, 1 video, 1 live stream. I have it like, today I released a video. So this is kind of like my cool down period, but I'm already thinking about my next video, and
Mhm.
I'm starting to tweak some thumbnails, ideas, get those in my head. I already have an idea for what I want to film this week. Um, I don't laugh, but if I rehearse what I want to say in a script, I talk to myself a lot. It makes the video sound a lot better. So, like, right as the days go on, as I'm in the car, as I'm walking around the house, I'm rehearsing my script on what I want to say, so it's nice and clear for the video itself, so I can
Right.
have that conversation.
Yeah, I used to do that too. I used to like I'd be writing a script and I'd be kind of reading it out loud to see how it sounds. And my wife used to always yell at me like, "Stop talking to yourself." I'm like, "I'm not talking to myself. I'm writing a script here. This is a very like unique process that you have to do."
I get very quiet too, because sometimes I'm in the car, I'm thinking of like maybe a new transition I want to add, or how I could incorporate something, or some kind of animation I want to learn. And if I get really quiet, the kids are like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just thinking." Sorry, mom's brain's on fire. She might explode any moment.
Right, right. Mom, you haven't said anything in 30 minutes. You're getting scared. That's probably pretty hard for you to do. Go 30 minutes without saying anything.
If I'm thinking about something, I could literally be lost in that thought for a long time. Some people have to snap out of it, Christina.
So do you find that do you script out more of your videos nowadays, or are you still a little impromptu and little just kind of winging it?
Well, I kind of winged it a lot of last year because I had the COVID blues, but
Right,
now I'm back into writing that script out, even though I may not follow it exactly the way I had said. I just find that if I write the words as I'm thinking them, it's a lot easier for me to convey it on camera. I
right,
mean, I may never even use that script. It's just the fact that I wrote it all down as I was thinking about it. So it clarified my thought process. So it was easier for me to talk to the camera.
right. Yeah. So I used to script out everything, and I think this is like each individual creator is a little bit different about this process. But I used to script everything out, and I would try to like go verbatim like from that script. And now instead, I just kind of make bullet points, and I just kind of turn on the camera and I wing it. And I think that I come off so much more natural and organic and casual, a little bit more
Mhm.
animated when I just kind of go off a bullet point and kind of wing it. And what I do though is I usually do script out the hook at the very beginning. I'll script that out because that's pretty important. And I'll try to read that or memorize that. But everything else, I just kind of do bullet points, and I find that works really well for me. I can put out more content that way, and it's just a little less stressful than trying to memorize my lines when I'm doing a video.
Right. Yeah. It's pretty much the same thing. I write it all out, just like I said, just for clarification. So it will be a little bit more natural, but I don't sit there and go step one, step two, step three. I find that when I do those kinds of step one, two, three, whatever, they end up not doing very well anyways, those, because you're not having that connection with the camera.
Right.
Um, I think that once you, strip down and just be really honest with the people that you're talking to, you do a lot better. That's my personal opinion.
Rad says, good point, Malcolm. Yeah. Hey, Rad, welcome to the live stream.
Is it Rad or Rod?
Oh, no. I like Rad better. I don't know.
It is pretty
Ra-
rad.
Rad, I don't know. But yeah, Rad just hit 500 subscribers on his channel not that long ago, which
Took
is,
me a year and a half to get there.
yeah, it took me a long time to get to 500.
A year and a half.
And what I told him was that the second 500 are going to come so much quicker than the first 500. Yeah, that's just how it goes. It's slow then fast, right? We said that a lot in the real estate business, slow then fast. That's how it is on YouTube. It's slow and then it quickly just accelerate.
Unless I had a guy on my live stream last week on Sunday. Super nice guy, from Montana. His name's Will. Anyways, his very first video was a viral hit.
He's a real estate agent?
A real estate agent, yep.
That's
And
great.
And he's like, I know I did a ton of things wrong and everything, and everybody wants to know what I did. That was the big secret. He's like, I don't even freaking know what I did,
Right. Yeah, that's like that girl who lives in a van down by the beach, and she uploaded her very first YouTube video about her living in a van, and it got like millions of views, and she grew like 100,000 subscribers off her very first video. Remember her? I forget what her name is now.
Yeah. Janelle.
Yeah. Sometimes you get lucky. So when I first started doing this back in 2017, one of my very first videos, it's probably like my 5th video, but it was 10 things to know before moving to Maryland. And I uploaded it to Facebook, and I had it in the 1x1 format, and I had the text on there. And that blew up and went viral within my state. And I got like 800,000 views, like 8,000 shares within a week. And I was like, yeah, I'm the king. I know exactly what I'm doing. Yeah. This real estate stuff's a piece of cake. And I was never, ever, ever able to repeat that success on Facebook. I tried everything to kind of repeat what I did that time. Never, ever, ever did I kind of get it. Sometimes you just get lucky with that stuff. But it's like baseball, right? The more swings you take, the more home runs you're going to hit. So you just got to keep at it.
There's 2 places that can happen pretty easier than it could on other locations. One of them is TikTok, and the other one is YouTube Shorts. Have you ventured into the YouTube Shorts?
I don't like them. And
I don't care for them either. I don't care for them either.
I'll tell you why I don't like them. Because they show up on your YouTube channel and they look just like any other video. But when people open it, it's a vertical video and it's less than a minute long. And I feel like if somebody's a lot of my content is like 20 minutes long. If somebody keeps watching, subscribe for that, and now they're seeing these little annoying 30-second videos popping up in their subscription feed, my concern is that people may just like get annoyed from that and unsubscribe. Like that's not what they subscribe for. What's your views on Shorts?
When it first came out, I'm a part of Daryl Eve's inner circle group, not inner circle. They call it, it's like a mastermind group like this. Anyways, he said, if you have a channel and you're starting off a channel, it's a good way to start off a channel. There's nothing wrong with that. But because then over time, you can progressively train your audience to watch longer form videos. But if you have a channel that's been established like yours and ours, and you've been doing long form content over 5 minutes, and then you start dumping these 30-second, 1-minute videos onto your channel, you're going to divide your audience. So you're going to have your audience is either going to like the long form or the short form. And you may gain over here, but you might lose over here. Which one is it you want more? Do you want the short term person to watch your content, or do you want the long form one? And I think with a channel like for ours, of course we want people to watch it longer because that's more AdSense for you. But right. So he suggested, like for someone like yourself and I, is to, if you wanted to venture into shorts, to go ahead and start a shorts channel and then have your own channel as a featured channel. So that way it could direct traffic for those people that are interested to hear more from you.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with that. I think that's a good strategy, because I feel like right on the shorts there's a little subscribe button. So somebody may like one of my shorts and subscribe, but they may not like my actual 10-minute long videos. It's a totally different value proposition. So I totally get that. So Rad says it's actually Rod. That's how you pronounce it.
I was right. It's Rod.
Geez. Let's see what else he says. He says, because if you guys was able to get there, all right, talking about growing our channels. I'll remember this when I prep for my first live stream. So I feel like you've really mastered this live stream thing, right? You jumped into this, not long ago, a few months. I feel like you've been doing these lives on your real estate channel, and it seems like you've really like perfected it and really crushing it with those now.
Your audio got really tinny all of a sudden. It was really strange.
Oh no, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. It just the audio quality just changed for some reason. Like you hit something and that changed. But anyways, yeah,
tips for lives. That's what I was getting at.
Oh, now you sound better. So my tips for live is to treat your live stream exactly how you would treat a video. You do make a thumbnail just like you would for a video, and you make a title that will captivate the audience. You optimize that live stream just exactly how you would optimize a regular standard video. Most people miss that step and they name it, live stream
Right.
now, real estate, let's talk, and you could get some subscribers there. But if you say like something more enticing, like, real estate agents say the real estate market is crashing, that's going to get more people going, what the heck are they talking about, and be a part of your live stream. I had over 400 people on my live stream this past Sunday.
Yeah, that's huge. That's fantastic.
Over Super Bowl Sunday weekend, which I almost didn't do because I was like, it's Super Bowl Sunday. Went ahead, did it anyways, had over 600 people on my live stream. That's really good for,
It is.
no, I don't even have 100,000 subscribers. So to have 600 people that are sitting there listening to me sit there and talk about boring real estate, I mean, come on.
And those are super fans, right? Pat Flynn has that book about super fans, and that's who that is. You're building that core audience that are your diehard fans. And if they're joining your live streams, they're probably more likely to like, comment on your videos and watch all of your videos. So you're building that really core audience there with those.
That's a good book too, that Pat Flynn Super Fans book. If anybody wants to get that, if you're looking for another YouTube type of social media book, that's a really good one.
I haven't read it yet. But to your point, like, yeah, a lot of my live streams, I started titling them something different. So this live stream right here, I titled it something like generate real estate leads from your YouTube channel. Something like that was a title rather than live Q&A, something a little bit more click worthy. And I think having custom thumbnails as well, pre-created for your live stream is also a really good strategy. And then what I like that you're doing is you're bringing on guests every week to interview and kind of get some different perspective from across the country, which is really neat.
I always try to have somebody on that has a YouTube channel. That's my first. I have had my first person actually not show up after they said they were going to show up. Never heard from them again, which was super bizarre. And I had sent them the link way in advance on a Thursday and said, I'm, excited for the show on Sunday. He says, I'm excited too. Can't wait to see you Sunday. He was like, he disappeared off the face of the earth. So that was kind of funky. It all worked out because my internet ended up failing and I was just like, whatever, I'm just going to unlist this thing. But Chuck had a question. He says, do you guys both edit your own videos, correct? Yes, I do.
Yes, I still do as well.
I have control issues, and that's the main thing, because I have tried, I don't know if you've done this, Malcolm, but I've given my videos now over to 3 separate editors, and every single one of them promised the sun, moon, and stars, and every single time they under-deliver. Every single time. Like, you know how you have a part where you'll say it, and you're like, oh, that didn't sound right, and then you'll say it again? Why would you put that in there twice? Like, I just said that, buddy. Why would you leave that in there?
Yeah.
And then they'll, oh, well, you said you wanted to look natural. I'm like, I don't want to sound like I'm repeating myself. I mean, like, I don't know. I get very annoyed. I get super annoyed. And not only that, I tend to like, I'll get finished with the editing a video. And like the day I'm going to release it, I watch it one more time and I end up adding just a few more little touches, just a few more little things. My videos are important to me, and I want it to be my best effort forward. Now I can honestly say not every video has been my best effort forward, but I try to make that happen. But my channel is more of a business for me than it is for a lot of other people. Some people are just trying to get the real estate leads, so they're just spitting out information and they don't care about necessarily the whole experience of the video. So they're just whatever, rambling off facts. But mine, to me, is more important than that. And I get like tons of emails and feedback from people. I get phone calls and messages, and people genuinely like the help that I give them. So
yeah, no, I agree with you. Like, I've tried editors as well, and the truth is, like, none of them care as much as I do about my own videos. And like you said, a lot of times I will say something, since I just kind of wing it, I'll say something and like, yeah, I didn't really like how that, let me try that again. And I'll try to kind of repeat, I guess, what I'm saying. And, I don't like leaving that up to an editor to pick which take they want to use. Now, I remember Casey Neistat, he recently started using an editor, well, maybe like a year ago. And he said that he would do a rough edit first and then send that rough edit to his editor. And I've thought about doing that, where I'll do one pass through my 30-minute long video and at least get there with all the takes that I want, and then send that to an editor to have them add the graphics and animations and stuff. I haven't done that, but I've thought about doing that.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. That's probably smart.
Yeah, I would love it if I had a cool editor who could edit, who cared as much as I do. And I'm sure I could find one. It's just I just haven't yet. I like having that creative control. I kind of like geeking out on this stuff, even though it's super time consuming. So Burn says, welcome back. We missed you guys. Yeah, so Burn, I want to give him a quick little shout out if I can figure out how to do this. How do I share my screen? Oh my God, it's been so long.
There's a little button at the bottom that says share.
All right, so shout out is that Burn and Dan actually started their own podcast recently.
And it's so good. Love those two. They're the like two greatest guys that are so willing to share everything they know. Love those two.
Yeah, so if you guys want to go check out the Content Agent podcast, maybe we want to have them on the show one of these days, and we can kind of talk about what they're doing with that.
Love them.
What else?
Chuck says, what are your thoughts on doing a regular live show where you go through the new listings on the market and talk about them, etc.? Nobody cares on YouTube. Did that. Nobody gives a crap. Totally did that. I did that. I did that for years. No, I used to do a Wednesday night trivia show, and I used to do the Sunday real estate walkthroughs, open house. Did them every single Sunday. And the most I ever got on one of those live streams was 120 people, the very most.
Yeah. I mean, I would say feel free to try it out if you'd like to, but it's not a very clickable topic or a title, you know. I can't really imagine those doing all that great. So Chuck also says, I'm considering using Video Husky. Yeah.
Okay. So Video Husky, I'm going to tell you, I'm sorry to interrupt, but Video Husky, exactly what Malcolm was saying earlier, which was do the rough edit first and then have them do the fancy top of it. Cause I've heard that from other people as well. Like you just go through, pick out your best clips, cut them out so you're not stuttering and stuff, and have them dress it up, you know, put that lipstick on the pig and make it look fancy. Yeah. That's probably what I should do. That's really, you know, now you got me thinking a little bit more. I need to do that.
I'm thinking about it too. So I've got my outdoor channel, and what's interesting about that audience is that I don't need a lot of fancy graphics and animations. Some of my best videos on my outdoor channel, I have 0 B-roll. It's literally just me talking about a product or something. And that's such an easy edit. But a lot of those videos are also like 20 minutes long. I have one right now I'm editing. It's going to be like a 20-minute long video. And so a 20-minute long video, that's like an hour's worth of footage that I need to edit down. And for those simpler videos, I have thought about like, man, this is so easy. I could just outsource this. And God, I mean, you got to look at the business model. If you could put out twice as much content, it could be worth doing that.
So everybody pay attention. I'm going to get on a soapbox for a minute.
Here we go.
It's been burning my rear end. 2 things. One, I'm sure everybody's seen it. If you plan on trying to sell your online course, your online crap, or any of this stuff and start reaching out to real estate agents in this group, you will be kicked out immediately. There's no questions asked. You're out. Second thing was, I saw this in another group, and I'm just saying, if this happens in our group, I'm warning you right now. This is your warning. You're not going to do it here, and you will get kicked out. What happened was this person posted, they wanted some feedback. And in the comment section, the other person gave the feedback. Granted, this woman asked for brutal honesty, but it didn't need to be insulting her appearance. And to me, that is uncalled for. I don't care how you look. But if I ever see even a hint of racism, sexism, misogynistic, and anything that has to do with somebody's physical appearance, you're out of here. There's no questions asked. You're out. Don't even contact me because you've already made an idiot out of yourself. Thank God it wasn't in this group, because if it was, it would have been gone immediately. So that's my soapbox. I'm off of it now.
Yeah, 100%. We don't, nobody needs that kind of toxicity. You know, we had somebody in our group that it came to our attention that he was stealing B-roll from other agents and then using it in his content. Like, he would literally he would download some other agent's YouTube video, edit out the B-roll, and then use that in their own YouTube videos. And we of course booted the guy out of our group. And then we added a rule about, you know, being ethical. So yeah, being mean to somebody who's asking for feedback on the YouTube videos, obviously that's a no-go.
So, but what you're saying there, though, I'm going to preface this. So I take video clips all the time from other YouTube videos, but if you look at the bottom, it will say courtesy of, and I put the YouTube channel. Like my last video, this one I just put out today, they're talking about modular homes and they're putting the modular home together. I put the name of the channel and the company that it had to do with, so that way people knew whose product that was. And if you use a news clip, you can do that. You're allowed to do that. It's called fair use, because you're making commentary about the specific clip that you're using to enhance your video itself. But if you take a video and you basically are passing it off as your own content, that's something completely different. Don't do that. And if you are using clips from the internet, make sure that they're not copyrighted and that you have permission to use them.
Yeah,
Storyblocks is one of those ones you can use, but you have to have a license for them. It's
such a gray area, and I generally try not to use anybody else's content in my videos. And I remember Daryl was talking about this before, and he was saying that, you know, you have the fair use laws, but then you have YouTube's implementation of them and their policies. And right now, so I have uploaded, I have one video on my outdoor channel that has clips from a movie. And the first time I uploaded it, immediately said, hey, we're going to flag this. You're using somebody else's copyrighted material. And I had to keep editing down my video. And it appeared that once it get down to less than 30 seconds, then YouTube doesn't flag it. Less than 30-second clips. But that doesn't mean that YouTube is okay with that necessarily. And what happens if in 5 years from now they get sued again and they start implementing that you can't use more than a 10-second clip, or you can't use that video at all, and they go back and they flag everybody's videos over the last 10 years who used copyrighted content in their videos. So because of that, I just try to avoid using other people's content altogether if I can.
TV shows, I think, are tough. TV shows and movies are tough. You have a harder time with that. Old movies you're going to be fine with. News clips, something that was on the public news clips, you're totally fine with that. I mean, first of all, it's branded. It's all, like, when you're using a news clip, it's, you know, it's got their branding all over it, you know, and the news stations is kind of like taking an article from a newspaper. You're already crediting them because you're using their image, you're using their logo, and you're usually making commentary of what it came from that specific newscast. So I always my favorite is trying to find newscasts. I use those the most because it usually supports my claim, or I have some kind of commentary of what I was saying.
Okay.
In this clip.
So Rod says, I've had to discipline myself every week to do a video every week and avoid sharing it to Facebook. I've stuck to it in Christina's advice. Yes. Yeah, I mean, doing it every week, there's a lot of benefits to that. One is that you're going to put out more content. You're going to be a little bit more disciplined and put out more content. And you're also going to kind of train your audience to kind of keep watching your stuff. I remember Casey Neistat was putting out years ago, he was putting out daily vlogs. That's really how he blew up his channel. My wife and I got into the habit of every day we'd watch his blog on the TV, or his vlog on the TV. And we did this was part of our routine for months and months. And then Casey took a break from that a few months, and he started coming back and started putting out this vlog content again. And I just couldn't get into it again. I was in this routine for months watching it, and then I just wasn't interested when he started doing it again. So, like, psychologically, people really do kind of start building that habit of watching your content. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits to putting out weekly content.
Yeah, well, I will say too, sometimes when people take a break, when they come back, it's not the same as it was before.
Could be, yeah.
Because I there's a morning show I watch often. And he kind of like changed his style and he kind of changed his background. And I'm like, I just don't like it as much anymore. It just didn't, it felt different, you know?
Yeah.
So I just stopped watching it. I tried to watch it today. And again, I got kind of sidetracked. I wasn't even paying attention. It was before I was like really engrossed in what he had to say. So now I know I kind of just like, whatever. You know?
Yeah, it happens. It does happen. It's interesting. So Living Savannah, Philip says, how would you transition channel after moving to a new market, still in Georgia? See, that's interesting. I'd say it kind of depends on how far away the market is. You know, your channel should all be about your target audience. So if your target audience has now changed from one city to a different city, that may be a new channel right there. That's kind of how I look at it. Or you could go out a little bit broader and make your channel more about all of Georgia. You know, and that may be something.
And this is why I tell people that having a kitschy little name, you know, like little, like fancy little fun little name, you think it's going to be so cool. Poop happens, you know, and that's why it's good just to use your name. Because if you were just Philip Randolph, real estate agent or realtor in your channel name, this whole entire time, you would have nothing to worry about. And you could start a whole new bucket of content and not have to worry about changing your channel name. And that's why I was your real estate whisperer forever, which was the most ridiculously long name. Loved it though. Loved it though. But I changed it to my name, and that was a smart move.
Yeah. So you just went with a self brand, and that's pretty much what I do as well. I just went with the self brand. Yeah, it does seem like longer names don't really do that well on YouTube. It's not that they don't do well, but a longer name isn't really optimized for YouTube. Having a little one-word name like Mr. Beast or something is a little bit easier for people to resonate with.
And you know what else works with that? Titles. Who knew? I was helping Rod the other day. He was like, what do you think of this title? I'm like, you're writing a novel.
Right.
Like, that title's a novel length. Like, shorten that thing up. I mean, you give them all the goods in the title. Like, let's tighten that up quite a bit. Shorter titles work better.
You know, so they had VidCon this past year, and it was all digital. And, you know, I paid and I got the VidCon, I was watching all the videos. And there's one thing that really stood out to me, and that was when Daryl and Mr. Beast were reviewing people's videos. And Mr. Beast was reviewing somebody's title, and they're coming up with ideas for a title. And he was like, well, let's just go with this one. Shorter is always better, right? And that kind of stuck to me, that I think shorter titles, the shorter you can make that, more concise you can make that, the better. And that one little sentence that Mr. Beast said, shorter is always better, right? That really resonated with me. And now every time I make a title, I look at it as like, can I shorten this somehow? Can I take out a word or put an ampersand instead of an and? What can I do to just make this just a little bit shorter by a few characters? And that's what I try to do now. I try to make my titles impactful, but also in as few as letters and characters as I can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've wavered back and forth on my last title, and I should have made it shorter. I'm kind of like ticked at myself. I'll change it at some point, but just mad right now.
Let me ask you: are you still doing? Do you do Two Buddies A/B testing of your title and thumbnails anymore? I stopped doing it too. Yeah, I don't know. I just stopped doing it. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm part of Daryl's, you know, like group, and he has a different kind of system that we're doing. So I follow what he does. You know, he tells us to do. And then, you know, the thing is with the thumbnails, you know, pretty quickly, because you know what your average CTR is for your channel. And if you have a specific playlist of content, you can say, with this specific playlist of content, my CTR is averaging, let's say 6%. Well, now my CTR is like 4.5. I probably should tweak this thumbnail. So that's what you do. You just change it up just a scotch. You change it, like maybe move your image to the right, or maybe take your face off, something like that, and see how it does. And if you don't have any kind of traction that picks up on it, then you know to either change it back. Or I don't mess with the title. I will not mess with the title unless it's been like 3 days, and like it's really doing bad and it shouldn't be doing as bad as it is, then I'll change it.
Yeah, I mean, so I was doing TubeBuddy for a long time, and I was doing some A/B testing of thumbnails on my older content. And I think that the purpose of that is to really figure out what works well. And I've got a couple of buckets of content that after doing a lot of the A/B testing, I've really I know what works well for a thumbnail on that content. And I already know what's going to do well and what's not going to do well. And I could do A/B testing and change out slight variations, but I'd rather just put my time towards creating something newer and better. But I do still, when I first upload a video, if the video is not performing as well as I would hope, in that first 24 hours, I'm still kind of swapping out some titles and some thumbnails, see if I can get it to improve much better. But
I know. Sometimes you wonder why it didn't work, though.
I know. Yeah. Sometimes I was like, man, this is going to work so well. And it just doesn't.
I've had a decline in my channel since last month. But then I looked up the history of my channel, even when before I had the subscribers I have now. It always seems this time of year, my channel tends to go down, and it will pick back up right at the end of September, like right in that beginning of August, starts to pick up a little bit more. But then by the end of September, it's like back in full swing of like cranking out some good views and subscribers and stuff. So this is the time I'm like, okay, well, not as many people are watching, like really try to focus, because what will happen is that even though you may not get a lot of views right now, when you do have those peaks, those older videos are in the ecosystem. So when people start binge watching, this is not when you need to be getting lazy. You still need to put just as much effort as when you're doing really well, because those older videos that didn't do well at the beginning can take off, and you want to make sure that the ones that do take off are in your best, like you got your best dressed on, I guess you should say. So don't slack, even though this is a time when the channels real estate channels seem to be a little
right, 100%. So that's kind of a good segue. Let me show you. So you're saying that when one video takes off, it kind of helps your whole channel. I got a great example of that right here. So this is my outdoor channel. And a few months ago in February, I had one of my very old videos, like a year old, this blue line here, take off. And YouTube's algorithm just picked it up and started sharing it all over the place. And you can see that a lot of my other older videos started getting more views as well. That's the purple and the orange line here. And all my videos started getting a lot more views from that exact concept that you're talking about. Mm-hmm. That people were tuning in to find this one video, and then they'd go and YouTube would suggest my other videos to them. So that's absolutely a real thing. So I recently hit another milestone on that channel and just passed 100,000 subscribers on my outdoor channel. And I'm very, very excited about that. And I'm already up to 108,000 just in the last month or so after hitting that.
When do you get your button?
So I'm waiting right now. It's frustrating. As soon as I hit 100,000, I reached out to the people and I was like, hey, how do I get my button? And they said that they have to now review my channel, make sure all the subscribers are legit and everything. And then they'll send me a notification saying, hey, get your button here. So it's been like a month and I'm still waiting on them to do that. So hopefully in the next month or so, I'll be able to actually order it.
A friend of mine who, when they got to 100,000 subscribers, to get the YouTube verified, he had to send in all sorts of stuff 3 times, 4 times over. And it took them forever. And then they said, well, they're not going to do it. And then all of a sudden, then he had it.
Oh,
then it was there.
Yeah, that's silly. I mean, I'm sure they have a lot of buttons they have to issue out. Like 100,000, like a lot of people are hitting 100,000 subscribers on YouTube.
But it's still, let me just say this though. There's a lot more that never get it.
Right. What I've heard is less than 1% of all YouTubers ever get 100,000 subscribers.
I believe it.
Yeah, I believe it as well. You know, so I'm pretty proud of that. I can't wait to put it up on my shelf here. And then you're knocking on the door of 100,000 subscribers on your real estate channel. What are you up to now? Like 85,000 or so and growing?
I I think that's what it is. I think it's right at, hold on, let me look.
So pretty soon we'll have 2 YouTube play buttons in our group and on this live stream.
85,130.
That's great. Yeah, and you're growing pretty quick too.
Thank you. Cindy had a question.
All right, go ahead.
Would you self-brand if you're a realtor as well as own other companies? If so, how would you create content on that channel, or would you have a separate channel for other businesses? One of my other businesses is flooring and software company. They're 2 totally different audiences. So yeah, I'd have 2 different channels, and I would have one as your flooring software company, have that the name of the company, and that's the channel. And then your real estate channel, I would make your name.
Yep, 100% agree with that. If you're putting out real estate content and then you have a video about, hey, here's some software of how to lay out flooring, that audience wouldn't be interested in that. All those subscribers wouldn't be interested in that. And if they find your content about real estate, then they go to your channel and the last 3 videos are about software for flooring. That's going to cost you subscribers. People will be like, what is this? This isn't what I want to subscribe for. So yeah, that would definitely be 2 separate channels there.
I will say though, if you have a video about real estate and it happens to talk about like upgrading your home, and your flooring software helps people understand what kinds of flooring would look good, you could plug your other channel in your company in that specific video. But I would still separate the 2 channels. But you could always say, oh, and by the way, if you like this software, I actually own this company. You can visit this website and I have another channel, and you can tell them about it and introduce them that way. So that way, if they're interested, they'll go over there. But I would not put both of them on the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it kind of depends if that flooring software is for businesses or if it's for consumers. But it definitely does sound like 2 different channels. And like you said, you could set one channel as a featured channel. So when they go to your homepage, it shows up in the bottom. And you can also create playlists on your real estate channel with content from your flooring channel to try to tie those 2 together.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
George Phillips says, plan to make more about Georgia, but also focus on the new market 3.5 hours away from Savannah Lake community. Yeah, zoom out, man. Make it about Georgia. Maybe top 10 cities in Georgia, and you can feature both of your cities in that.
Yeah.
So I don't have any problem with that. Just kind of change who your target audience is and maybe go a little bit broader, or have 2 separate channels for each of those audiences.
I used to be very, very, very so niche that no one's ever going to find my content, because I was doing it for the small town of Ascension Parish. And then I got a little bit bigger, and then I was doing outside of Baton Rouge. I got a little bit bigger, and then I started doing things about Louisiana. The channel grew up a little bit bigger, and then I started doing more national stuff. So then my channel did a lot better. So I don't think it's a bad idea. I know a lot, not we, but a lot of people will say you niche down, you have to stay in your niche. But if you look at Javier, he's out of Phoenix, Arizona, and he's never done it that way. And he gets plenty of leads from his YouTube channel by making broad content. Your thumbnail title game better be strong in order to pull that off. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple different models that work well on YouTube. You know, what you and Javier are doing, going after a bigger national or even international audience with that content. I mean, that could still generate leads in your area, especially when you're getting 2 million views on a video. Mm-hmm. Or you can kind of niche down to your city or area. But yeah, you don't want to get too small of an audience. If you're too small of an audience, you're gonna have a hard time getting views on that stuff, and you're probably gonna rely a lot on search. And you have to kind of set your expectations as well. If you're only making content about a specific city, you're not gonna get as many views. You're not gonna get as many subscribers. Just kind of know that going into it. You're not gonna get 100,000 subscribers. It'd be hard to get 100,000 subscribers all about Savannah or something like that.
Maybe after 11 years.
Yeah.
I've seen one channel was like, yeah, I've been on YouTube. I have over 100,000 subscribers. I'm like, that's awesome. And then I look, and they've been on YouTube since the inception of YouTube. Right. And I'm like, by default, you should have that. Like, if you don't have that, then there's something really wrong.
That is a good point. And that's kind of the case on my outdoor channel. I've had that channel for, I believe, 6 years now. And it's a bit of a challenge because somebody could have subscribed 6 years ago, but my content has kind of changed now, or maybe they're not into that type of stuff anymore. So,
and that's why subscribers are a vanity number.
Right.
And YouTube literally gives zero poops about how many subscribers you have. They know it's for the creators and it makes them feel good, but they really don't care. That's the number they really don't pay attention to. They paid attention to the subscriptions because they're like, obviously this video was really good enough to get a bunch of people to subscribe. Then that's a key indicator to them, but it's not because of the number of subscribers to your all over channel. They're just gearing it towards each video. So if they know that you have a video that people are watching, it looks like a lot of people are subscribing because of that video, they're going to recommend it to more people. But it's not because you have 100,000 subscribers that they're recommending that video to more people. They don't really care.
Yeah.
That's why I always say I much prefer views over subscribers any day of the week. I would much rather have a viral video take off than have a bunch of subscribers that make me look good. I could care less about that.
Yeah, I agree with that. And it's not uncommon to see a channel with a lot of subscribers, 100,000, 400,000 subscribers, and they upload videos and they get like 10,000 views, something like that. That's not uncommon at all. And I've had, on my outdoor channel, 100,000 subscribers, and I'll have a video that gets 10,000 views. And I've had somebody knock me for that. Like, what's going on with that? Like, no, bro, that's totally normal. There's this guy I watch. Let me see if I can find his channel. But he does metal detecting, and he's got like 1 million subscribers on his channel, all about these adventures that he goes metal detecting. And his average view count is like 20,000 subscribers or 20,000 views on a video. And it's just some people, it's just the nature of the beast. Some people, maybe they can't watch a daily video about metal detecting. They're only interested every now and then, or there's only certain types of videos that really get their attention.
And you got to remember too, a lot of times people are subscribing for a specific reason, like that particular video. Like I talk about tiny homes. I also talk about manufactured homes. I also talk about modular homes. That person could have subscribed because they like when I talk about tiny homes. And so they don't care about the other videos. They're like, oh, she put out another video. Oh, it's not something I'm interested in. They just scroll past it. It's not for any other reason. It's because that was the reason they, and then like I do live streams, and my live streams afterwards average about, 5 to 10,000 views afterwards. I can't even imagine watching a live stream after the live stream has been done, but people watch them, which blows my mind. I get pretty good engagement on them afterwards. But, not everybody that watches a 20-minute video is going to watch a 1-hour live stream. So you have to kind of put all those things in perspective.
Yeah. Yep. No, definitely agree with that. I'll watch people's live streams after they're done. Sometimes if I disappointed, I miss them. But if it's like a 4-hour live stream, obviously I can't watch that. But I'll tune in sometimes.
That's why I always stick them to 1 hour. Even if it looks like the volume of people that are coming through are high, like the one where Javier and I were on, it was over 600. It kept climbing. I mean, people were like, you should have kept going. I'm like, no, I do an hour-long show. The longest I ever did, I think, was an hour and a half. But and it did well afterwards. But I think attention span to have somebody, first of all, give up that much of their time to listen to you is a lot to ask. So I think that if you give them an hour of really good information in a live stream where they can ask their questions, I think it's a good idea. What did you just do? It literally sounds terrible.
Oh no, I put my phone on my laptop.
Oh, don't do that. Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay, maybe my freaking laptop. It's a freaking 2019 MacBook Pro. I don't know. It's acting goofy. You made me lose my train of thought there. But yes, I think an hour is a good time for live stream. That's how long I plan on going today. When we first started doing this, I think, I was trying to copy off of Nick Nimmin, and Nick Nimmin would go like 4 hours on his live streams. But yeah, I think an hour for replayability, an hour is kind of a good time there.
Like sometimes we used to do these, channel reviews.
Right. Oh,
So
we haven't done that in a while. We could do that.
yeah, if someone wants to like the next time we go live, they want to throw in their channel to be reviewed, throw it over to either Malcolm or I, and we'll give you a little rundown. And we won't be mean, and we won't insult your appearance.
And there's so many people that are doing this really well now, which is really cool. You know, Burns doing it really well. Dan's doing it really well. Yeah, a lot of people, you know, are great models for how to use YouTube. So let me show you. So this is the guy that I follow, Aqua Trigger. I don't understand that name. I don't like it, but he's got 1,000,008 subscribers. And you look at his views, 18,000 views, 19,000, 18,000, 19,000, 26,000. But then every now and then he'll have one video that has really blown up. 20 million views, 15 million views, 8 million views.
Well, look how old those are. 6 years old, 7 years old, 4 years old, 2 years old, 3 years old.
And that's not uncommon on YouTube to see that.
Well, they can grow forever. Cause like, I mean, I had that video that did well and I was like, oh, wow. In less than a year, it got to 1 million views. It was really cool. Now it's like 2 years now, it's 2.5 million. I don't even know what it's at now. Let me take a look.
Yeah, that's crazy. That video is doing so well for you.
And I've tried to repeat the process, you know, didn't do as good the second time or third time around. Every time I do another one, it does actually worse.
Yeah, so hopefully those at least, you know, get suggested next to it. But
they do.
I've seen entire channels that grow and really blow up from one video doing really well. You know, I mean, you're 85,000 subscribers. I wonder how many of them, you know, you can contribute to that one video. Probably I don't know, 10,000 or so. Probably a pretty significant number. So that's awesome that you got that. I finally hit the 1 million view threshold on one of my videos, and it only took that video 4 years to finally hit 1 million views. It's not exactly ideal, but I'm in there at least.
I had 3 videos over 1 million.
Oh my god! Oh my god! What are the? Oh, dude, that's pretty amazing. And they're probably all less than 24 months old too, which is really the best part. What are the 3 titles?
Yeah, the one is 5 biggest lies about manufactured mobile homes. That is at 1,000,004. Then I have the build a house in 2 hours, the foldable home. Foldable modular homes. That one is at 1.189 million.
Wow, almost 2 also.
And then I got then the tiny manufactured homes you can buy on Amazon. That one is at 2.66 million.
God, that's wild.
Yeah,
that's wild for real estate. I mean, Daryl's always saying that you know, real estate is such a boring topic, but somehow you're making it go viral and pretty interesting.
He said literally it's the most boring topic on YouTube.
I don't know. Taxes are pretty boring as well.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that like talking about money and listening to about money and how to spend money and where to invest money. That's an interesting topic, but real estate is kind of like it's walls and doors and, you know.
Yeah. And the thing with real estate, so like if you look at Daryl's channel or Tim Smoyer's channel or Nick Nimen's, they kind of have that same challenge where they have a lot of subscribers and like their average view is like 15, 20,000 views. And, you know, they say that that's largely because a lot of people will get into growing a YouTube channel, then they give up after 6 months, but they never unsubscribe. So they got a lot of these dead subscribers. And I always thought that YouTube or real estate may be like that as well, that a lot of people, they'll subscribe, they buy a house, and then, you know, they don't move for 11 years and they're not as interested. But you're kind of like proving that's not the case. You're getting people who are still interested in this content after they subscribe.
Well, and I'll say too, like, but if you look at Nick Nimen, he still knocks it out of the park pretty much every single video. Well, does it meet his subscriber count? No, but he still gets seriously good views, a lot more than a lot of the other gurus or whatever. You know, he really has it dialed in. What works?
I think so. Yeah, Nick Nimen. Yeah, he's got like kind of a unique aspect to it. He provides a lot of value. Yeah, I like him a lot. there's one guy I don't like, Roberto. I cannot stand Roberto Blake.
He has a different personality, and it's one of those things. That's what the great thing about the fact that there's so many different gurus is because you're not going to get along with everybody's personality. He is pretty knowledgeable, you know. Does he have the most warm and fuzzy attitude? No, not really. No, but there's people that like that and they connect with that, and he has a very analytical mind, and people connect with that as well. So there's someone for everybody. He may not be your cup of tea, but the next guy,
right.
You know?
Yeah. I've taken Tim Smoyer's course as well as Daryl Eves' course.
I like Tim.
Yeah, and they do have slightly different approaches to YouTube. In that Tim is more about audience development and building an audience and building a brand. And he talks a lot more about who's your target audience, what's the value proposition for that audience. And he doesn't really dive into the analytics as much. Whereas I feel like Daryl Eves, he talks like a lot more about the analytics and the algorithm, and he talks a lot more about how to make a video go viral and how to get millions and millions of views on a video and reach that new audience. So it really is. It's kind of like two different approaches to the same problem, and both of them work. Both approaches work really well, I think.
And you know what's funny is that I heard Roberto Blake say, the only person I know that can teach you how to create a viral video is Daryl Eves. He said, wow, that's the only person I know that could literally teach you step by step how to create a viral video. I heard him say that. I was like, wow, Roberta, that was big.
Yeah, that's pretty big of him. That's interesting.
I think it was on Nick's live stream. I can't remember if it was on Daryl's live or on Roberto's own live stream or Nick's, but I'm pretty sure it was on Nick's.
So I do love those live streams that Nick Nimmin does, where he brings on Daryl Eves and Roberto Blake and all these other guys, and then they just kind of mastermind about YouTube. I like those a lot, just getting everybody's different perspective. It's very, very similar to your channel, where you bring on other real estate agents just to get the different perspective.
Because there is so many different perspectives. And it's funny to me because my audience likes me, so that a lot of times when the person on the other side doesn't agree with me, you could the chat just start shredding that guy, and I'm just like,
you get the home turf advantage there.
I do have the home turf advantage. I do, but I've had some really good guests. I've enjoyed the people that have come on the podcast. You just had that one person that didn't show up, which I thought I still don't know. I hope the guy's okay. Like that's my biggest thing. I'm like, geez, it was just so strange because he gave me all the slides to share for the stream. Very odd, but
yeah, that is very odd.
I recommend people do that, but have something in mind, because I've seen people, and I've been on a few of these streams where people have asked me to be on their stream and they basically have nothing prepared, and they're not much of a conversationalist to begin with. So they ask the question, and then it's not even like a conversation type of question. It's like a yes or no question. Right. So it's like after like 20 minutes, I'm like, this is painful. I hope it ends soon,
Yeah, it's a bit of a skill doing these live streams. I used to be really nervous about live streams.
Me too.
I did not like them at all, especially on my real estate channel. I was very nervous about doing those. But lately, whenever I do them, I'll have like what I've been doing is going through my comment section and taking screenshots of a bunch of different questions. So I have like 5 questions or so, and then with StreamYard, I can put those pictures over the stream and I'll answer those. And lately, I'll get to like the second question, and I'll start answering it. And by that time, I've got a whole flood of other questions in the comment sections, and I never even finish my pre-planned 5 questions or so. So I do have a lot of fun with my real estate live streams.
And that's how I used to start. Like when I decided to do the format that I was doing, that's exactly how I did it. I was like, I don't know how many people are going to show up to this thing, so I better have some questions and answers ready to go from the get-go. And that's exactly what I did. Is I went through my top video, the most recent video I had just had put out. And then I would tell those people, like, that was a great question. I'm actually going to respond to your question on my live stream on Sunday. Here's the link so you can show up on that day and you can listen to the answer. If not, you can watch the replay. And so I did that for like a good 2-3 weeks before I started seeing that there was more people that were showing up more regularly.
Right.
So
I like that. And going back to kind of training your audience, one thing I did notice is that when I was doing those live streams on a regular basis, my audience kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I get more and more interaction. And then at one point I took like a month off, and then I came back, and sure enough, my views were way down. My interaction was way down because my audience wasn't trained, or they kind of got out of that habit. But okay, that's probably a good place to end the day. Any final notes? Yeah, under an hour.
Under an hour. I just want everybody to continue to put their titles and thumbnails for everybody to critique them. I want the people to understand that if you are critiquing other people's thumbnails, to not be offended if somebody says it doesn't look right or whatever. But if you're going to if you're going to critique somebody, be real and authentic about it, and don't be mean and spiteful and hateful. I noticed that in some of the groups, in some of our threads, it's almost a personal attack against them, and you have to stop it. Like, some of it is just ugly, and really think about what you post before you post it, because there's no need to attack people in their character when they're just asking a simple question about a thumbnail. That's it.
Yeah, having a community is freaking awesome to be a YouTuber. YouTube can be very lonely and confusing and frustrating, and having a community that you can like bounce ideas off of people is huge. And yeah, I love the idea of using our group, the Real Estate YouTube Mastermind Facebook group, for getting ideas for thumbnails and titles. All right, I guess we lost our co-host.
No, my daughter opened the door, and then the freaking Roomba is like Roombaing around, and like she didn't shut the door all the way. I could kill her right now. So now you hear this stupid Roomba.
Oh, jeez. It ruined it. Ruined the entire show. I'm deleting this episode.
No, you're not. No, you're not. I'm going to show you this really quick because I have another camera set up. Let's see if it will.
Oh, multi-camera.
I know. Let's see if I can. Oh, now the Roomba went around the corner, but
you're making stuff up, Christina. You're lying.
Well, you could hear it. I'm not lying. Look, see how I move my wall around? Isn't that great?
I love your new setup. Yeah.
So I moved that around, and then I got some lights in the back here, and then I got this light here. I got this one, and there's my camera that's set up here, and then this is the one that Jeremy Blanton had told me to get, and I still have the one up here, but I'm going to get another one of these lights. Oh, this light right here is the best freaking light. I even like it better than this one.
Really?
Yeah, I love it. This thing gets so bright. I mean, I'm shocked. It's similar to an umbrella light. It gets that bright.
What's the light called?
Oh shit! We had to ask me an important question.
Look at all those cameras you got, man. I like that setup. I see the noise canceling panels there.
Yeah. All right. So this is the AMC camera. Oh yeah, the lights. I posted it in the group several times. So yeah, so that's it.
Yeah.
And then this is the microphone I use, the Rode Podcaster. So yeah, I'm so fancy.
So fancy. I like it. I'm still just using my my old soft boxes here. I like them. They give me a good light, but I had one of them, the lights died on me, and I never got around to replacing it. So I don't have a fill light on this side. And then I got my another soft box there on the ground. Oops, right there, shining on my backlight. They're pretty big and bulky though, you know. If I could get a little LED thing that did the same lighting effect.
Get this thing that I just showed you, that little box. That actually was mentioned in a Peter McKinnon video.
Oh.
And so Eddie, my husband's like, "Oh, I love Peter." I'm like, "Whatever." He said, "Just get this light. You know, it's no more than the one that you have right here that you." And he's like, "Just try it." And I'm like, "Okay." And I got it. I'm like, "Damn, I love that light."
Wow. I'll give it a try because I don't like
it's having a full aperture light.
I don't like having this on the floor like that. I'm always kicking it. So if I had a little LED light or something there instead, I think that'd be kind of cool.
I have these in the back to light up the wall a little better.
Look at you.
You got to do the thing. Because so Nubera had the light problem here. You know, there was light that came through on this window. I blacked it out. Like I had put contact paper over the window,
Right.
so there's no light coming in whatsoever.
That's great. And what's interesting, like, I mean, I agree that, you know, it's kind of fun to make everything look fancy and pretty. Your biggest video, the 2.6 million views, you didn't have any of these lights, did you? Right? Yeah, the production quality wasn't as high as it is right now, and that thing still went viral.
I think I even recorded it through a Zoom call because it was easier for me to scroll through the websites and be more natural when I'm talking about the specific houses. So I'm pretty sure I recorded.
Yeah. Content's king. Content quality is far more important than production quality.
Well, I made it fancy. And the other one that's at 2 million, again, that was a Zoom call, but I cut up the Zoom call. It wasn't just a straight Zoom call. I cut it up where I added a lot of B-roll and fanciness and words. People like words. So I added a lot of that to help the video to be more interesting.
People do like words. Yeah, that's a really simple like B-roll right there. Just add words.
People love words.
All right, Christina. Yeah, we're gonna have to start doing this again more often. Maybe next week we can do another one. Bring on Bern and everybody else and anybody else we want. So
Tuesdays are good for me because that's a video release day. And it keeps me from actually trying to refresh to see what the numbers are doing. And
distracted.
Yeah, so it's a pretty low key day for me.
All right, so maybe every Tuesday then.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, bye everybody.
Bye.
See you next week. Next Tuesday maybe.
Yeah, hopefully. Only if Malcolm get his stuff together. It's always Malcolm's fault.
I'm working on it. Not very organized. Keep waving. You can't stop waving yet.
I'm trying. I'm just gonna keep going until you actually hit the end button. Eventually you're gonna hit it. It's right at the top on the right. You're gonna hit end live stream. There you go.